When I'm scrolling on Pinterest or Instagram and I come across a sewing pattern that just immediately draws my eye towards it, I kind of have to buy it. And now that I have my new printer set up that I can now actually print all the digital patterns that I have, it is now time to put it to use and print off the Hollyhock Romper. I have been looking forward to making this pattern for so long, and I think I love it so much that I might just make it in 3 different materials. This pattern was made by Sadie from Studio Sadoe. I've seen it all over. I've seen it in so many different variations that I knew that I just needed to have some variations just for myself. So I have a few options that I'd like to share with you, and once I'm done putting the pattern pieces together, maybe I'll have decided what I actually want to make, so let me share with you some options. So I have 2 solid color options that I would love to make. This Daphne colored purple is a thrifted cotton bedsheet. I absolutely love this color. I have this beautiful orangish red color. This is from Blackbird Fabrics. This is their washed linen in the color tangerine. In the pattern display, she has like a rainbow gingham type fabric, and it just looks really good in this type of pattern. I've been looking for a reason to use this, and this does seem like a pretty good reason. It has all of these different colors of oranges. The only thing that I've been hesitant with using this in is that the colors are so varied that I feel like I'm gonna be too over-analyzing the pattern and what colors are going where, that this one might be a little bit trickier for me to use. I found this thrifted tablecloth maybe. It has a little bit more of a texture to it. This would be a really nice fabric to wear in the fall. I know we are still in the dead of summer, but I am really looking forward to fall, so I do really like this one too. Posted all of the polls onto my Instagram as well as onto YouTube. Please let me know what ones that you would like to do, and you can probably guess from either the thumbnail or from what you're about to see what options I have decided. But first, before that, we have to get into put all the pieces together of the pattern and then cut them out. Let's just jump right in. As I'm taping together this last piece, the stars aren't really lining up. I'm not sure why this is happening, so I'm trying to kind of play a guessing game. Okay, so now this piece is connected here. I don't know how it's going to turn out with that one. And I might save this piece for when I connect it to the other layer. So let's just hold space for that. It's almost like this bottom layer is not the right size. I'm gonna work with it, but just if you buy this pattern, I'm not sure if there's an update or something has been changed since, but this might be something that you might have to also deal with. So now everything is taped together. I didn't have clear tape, so this is a little overstimulating to kind of see, but I'm gonna go over it with black permanent marker over the lines that I need to cut. That just helps me because my eyes, it's kind of hard to focus, so that just is an extra step to help me. I did have to kind of modify the cuts that I was making into the paper. Some I had to extend to kind of complete the line. That is something that I can hem and fix afterwards. I'm not too worried about it, but if you are making this pattern and taping things together and you come across this issue as well, know that there are ways to fix it. It just is a little bit more work. Hey! Now that I have everything taped together, I'm going to look at the measurements, figure out what size I'm going to cut, and then follow the lines of which I'm going to cut out. So there are some notes to make before. Everything is cut with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so that's what I'll be using. There is a 1 inch seam allowance that goes along the hem so that you can make a double turned hem. Everything is now cut out, and now it is time to make a toile. I think the polls are kind of going against me right now in my decision to use that purple plaid. They really want the rainbow gingham. Even the creator that made this pattern voted for the rainbow gingham. I think I have to do it now. I think I did think that it was going to be a really good option. Again, I was just worried about the pattern placement and what it was going to be. With that said, let's make a toile. I really want to see this pattern out of that purple plaid, so I think that's where we're going to start. It's all done, so now let's try it on and see how it fits. Yeah. I don't know if it's supposed to be this big and baggy. So looking at the original photo, it is a little oversized, but I don't think it's this baggy and oversized. I took it in about 1/4 inch on each of the upper seams. I don't really want to go past the waist just because I have to take it on and off my hips. A little recap from yesterday. I made 2 mock-ups. First one that I made was way too baggy. I was in between the 2 sizes and I went with the medium instead of the small. So that could be why it was so big. I did message the creator of this pattern and she did get back to me, which was very helpful. She also said that if you wanted to have a more fitted look, then you can add ties to the waist so that you can pull it back and tie a bow. She also told me to check my seam allowances. Because there are so many seams that make up this romper, it is very easy that just being off by a little bit can contribute to it being way too big. I'm going to combine all of the things that I've learned from my mock-ups as well as from the designer. And of course, we only use the most unconventional pattern weights in this house. I like to find the center of one of the pattern pieces and then I'll just line it up as best as I can. I'll do this a few times along the pattern so that it lays flat on top of it. All the pattern pieces are cut out and now it is time to put it all together. For step number 1, we're going to overlock or use a zigzag stitch to finish off all of the edges to prevent them from fraying. Step number 2, we are going to sew godé A to front number 1 and godé B to front number 2 and godé C to front number 3. Making sure to match the godé to the letter marked on the corner of the front piece to line it up with the waistline notch and not the bottom hem. Sew godé D to back number 3, godé E to back number 2. Repeat all of step 2 on the other half. Step number 3, attach pockets to godé B on front number 2. First, we're going to sew the pocket piece right sides together to the free edge of front number 2, godé. Make sure to only sew between the 2 notches. This should be a 6-inch seam. Understitch the seam allowance onto the pocket. Then we are going to fold the pocket under and top stitch. It should look like there is a little divot cut out along the side of the godé. After that, we are going to open the pocket back out and place your second pocket piece on top of it, around the edge of the pocket bag. Fold the pocket back under and it should look like the underside of the pocket create the full line of the godé. Stitch front number 2 to front number 3 using your finger to feel for the edge of your pocket opening. Make sure you stay within the seam allowance so as to not sew the pocket shut. Continue the seam up to the shoulder, making sure to line up for the bust darts. Repeat all of this for the other half. Sew all vertical seams, attaching the godé side of each piece to the non-godé side of the following one. For example, you'll attach godé side front number 1 to non-godé side of front number 2. Front number 2 and front number 3 should have been attached during the pocket installation. Repeat all of step 4 on the other half. Next, you'll line up the notches right sides together, and then the finished piece should look like this. Step number 5, sew the side seams and shoulder seams on both halves. Step number 6, you should now have 2 completed halves of your romper. Place them on top of each other, right sides together, and sew up the front and back center seams. Step number 7, sew the inseam by lining up the center front line right sides together with the center back line. So this is all turning out really good, but when I tried it on, I do really like the combination that all of these colors have in this section, and I feel like it's missing it from this top. I think something that is very in my wheelhouse and something that design-wise I really like is having a different colored yoke. What I think I'm going to do is unpick these shoulder seams, and then we'll pick out the best piece and colors to drape over top of this yoke just to incorporate some more of these cool colors in the top. Let's add some bias tape to this edge. So now to attach this onto here, I'm going to go good side to wrong side, so that way when I attach it along this neck edge, I can then flip it to the other side and have the right side out. Step number 8, tidy the edges, trimming off any loose threads or seam allowance or unevenness at the hem. Step number 9, create a bias tape facing the neckline and armholes using whatever method you prefer. Step number 10, double fold the bottom of both legs and hem to your desired length. And then after that, we're all done. Now let's see how it looks. So happy to have this done. I really like how it turned out. I think that's really fun, but I did have quite a bit of a struggle getting it to this point. The pattern was easy to follow, much like all of the other patterns that I followed in the past. I think it was just one of those weeks where I had too much on my mind, and this was supposed to be a really easy video for me to make, and it turned out to be one of like the more laborious ones for some reason. I don't know. But we got to the finish line and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm glad that I added in this extra yoke piece. This is quite an easy thing to add, especially if you're doing bias tape around all of the edges. Then you can just copy and paste this piece onto the pattern and then add your bias tape. Now the green and purples aren't just in the skirt, they also come up to the top, and I think that it looks really nice. At the back I did add a button and a loophole just because I wanted it to be a little bit more fitted, and my hips are just a little bit wider than I think intended for this pattern. All I did was open the seam at the back probably 2.5 inches, and then I added in a loop and a button, and so that way I can just easily loop them on together and have it closed. Because of all the color combinations in this fabric, I know that I'll be able to wear it a lot in the fall as well. I have a few more patterns that I'd like to test out and make for the rest of the summer. One of the patterns being the Rothwell top from Stitch Witch Patterns. If you saw my last video where I made the Gladys top, that was also Stitch Witch Patterns. I'm really excited to continue the process of testing out different patterns that I've always wanted to try out. So if you have any interesting patterns that you've either wanted to try out or think that I would like, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to see your recommendations. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. It really helps out my channel and keeps me making these projects that I love to share with you. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.